There is a rule in the prison. Whenever a person dies, the warden burns his feet with a flame until he is sure that the body is dead. Then he wraps it in a shroud and throws it out at midday. However, the prisoner next door sees this. When the guards leave, he can't wait to get out of there. He pulls the old man's body back into his room and cuts his hair off and pastes it on the old man's face and then pretends to be asleep. After setting everything up, he crawled back to the neighboring. He then dug out the treasure map the old man had hidden in the wall. Before the guards came back, he sewed himself into the shroud, and the next step was left to fate. Fortunately, the prison guards didn't become suspicious, but just to make sure, they tied up 100 pounds of iron, threw the body into the sea. Thanks to a knife the old man had left behind, Edmund made a cut and freed himself from the shroud. He fought his way up to the top. After 14 years of wrongful imprisonment, Edmund had finally escaped. By the time the guards noticed something strange, Edmund had already swum to the shore. In his instinct for survival, he escaped into a farmhouse. After a good meal and a change of clothes, when he looked in the mirror, he was startled. He hadn't looked in the mirror for 14 years. He looked at that strange face. For a moment, he was in a trance. He thought of his fiancée, Tess, and he saw his father, who was so proud of him. If it wasn't for his best friend, he would have had a bright future. With this in mind, Edmund left in a hurry, and a few days later, with vague memories, he managed to return to the town of his childhood. Now his most urgent task was to find his father. He told Edmund that his father had died a few years ago. When he heard the news, Edmund felt weak in the knees. He went to his father's grave. Through the priest did he learn his father had died alone in the winter of 1825. No one mourned his death, because Edmund was buried here for treason. Edmund was angry and confused. He was alive and well in prison. Why did everyone think he was dead? Did the people who set him up not intend for him to get out? He was walking down the street when he happened to come across a guard who was chasing after a criminal. Edmund saved his life, and on his way to escape the guard, Edmund learned that he had a ship, and instantly he had a plan. He was going to Monte Cristo to look for the fabled treasure, but at this point, he didn't trust Jacopo completely. When he arrived at Monte Cristo, Edmund told them to get out of the boat and build a fire. Edmund pretended to go up to the mountain to check it out. He followed the old man's drawings. He followed the valley up to the top, but according to the route, Edmund went up and down the whole mountain, but he couldn't find any trace of treasure. He had no choice but to go away. He decided to return some other time. As he lay in bed at night, in a trance, the priest's words kept ringing in his ears.
The island of Monte Cristo, 20 paces west of Rabbit Rock, and you will find my treasure. I retrieve it all to you.
The next day, Edmund returned to Monte Cristo. This time he followed the map to the letter. He came to the Rabbit's Rock. Again, he walked 20 paces to the west, and when he turned back, Edmund's face was shot. Behind 2 rocks there was a hidden cave. He removed the rocks and went in. He finally found the treasure, and there were dozens of chests. They shone so brightly that Edmund wept with joy. He raised his voice to the heavens and raised his arms. He thanked the priest. He thanked God for giving him the chance to take revenge.